Survivor is hitting the picturesque shore of Nicaragua to pose a pivotal question.
Age and experience, or youth and vigor, which will prevail?
It'll be a showdown of the ages as tribes are split into two groups, 30 and younger and over 40. In this exclusive behind-the-scenes preview, we'll introduce you to the 20 diverse contestants who think they've got what it takes to be the next sole survivor. Plus, meet the one contestant who already has several titles under his belt, legendary NFL coach Jimmy Johnson.
I can't be the coach, and so I've got to fight my instincts.
Also, we'll take you back in time with a tour of this incredible open-air tribal council and get a first look at two exciting challenges.
Yo!
This is Survivor Nicaragua Preview. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Survivor Nicaragua Preview. I'm Parvati Shallow, winner from Fans vs. Favorites and runner-up from Heroes vs. Villains. Over the next hour, we'll tell you everything you want to know about the new season, from the contestants to the challenges to the unique tribal council. We'll even reveal Jeff Probst's pick to win. But first, after back-to-back seasons in Samoa, the series has crossed the Pacific Ocean and landed in an exotic and exciting location. Survivor is returning to Central America. For season 21, the show is on the Pacific side of Nicaragua.
I think a lot of Americans probably hear Nicaragua and think, is there war going on over there? Is there unrest? I have to say, we've been treated so well over here. In Nicaragua, we've had absolutely nothing but gracious invitations from everybody to be a part of their culture.
Culturally, unbelievably cool country. It's just very rich. It's rich with sort of Mesoamerican, Indian, indigenous culture. It's also very rich with old Spanish colonial culture.
This is a great spot. If you're a surfer, or you like the water, or you like to scuba dive, or you just want to come out and have a cheap beer and sit in the sand, it looks really nice here.
Nicaragua's colorful heritage, laid-back lifestyle, and low cost of living has led to a major boom in tourism.
We're hoping that growth is going to be continued throughout the next 5 to 10 years. So Nicaragua will be probably the next destination for everybody to visit.
Nicaragua is a fantastic place. I'm giving some serious thought to just staying here.
Coming into this season, we're following up Heroes vs. Villains, which a lot of people would say is our best season ever, certainly one of the best. And so you do feel a pressure to live up to something.
The Heroes vs. Villains season was just extraordinary. It was great. There were people that are familiar to our viewers, which it's a lot of fun to watch, you know, a superstar season. But the majority of our seasons have been new people. They've been everyday real people.
When we looked at the group of people we had for this season, we had great older people. So what we did is we divided them up this year between 40 and older and 30 and younger. There's nobody in between that age, and it worked out really nicely.
We're excited to have a new group of 20 people, and it's an exceptionally cool group and a really, really diverse group.
With old versus young, you can expect that people are going to have to use their brains. That's part of it. We're going to test experience versus youth. I think the key for the older tribe is they have to get off to a good start. They've got to win one of the first couple of challenges. And if they do, I think it's going to be fun. For Survivor Nicaragua, we've introduced a new element, and it's called the Medallion of Power. How the Medallion of Power is going to work is at each challenge, you will be given a choice. You can either use the medallion to get an advantage in the challenge, or if you don't think you need the advantage, you can use it to double your reward. What happened at the top of the show this year is we had a scramble, and I told them hidden somewhere out in the lagoon is a Medallion of Power. The first person to bring it back wins it for their tribe.
While there is no Exile Island this season, immunity idols will appear, with a twist.
One thing we had to change this year was the way the hidden immunity idols work, and we call it the Russell factor. Because in Heroes vs. Villains, Russell just went looking at all the obvious places, and he was right. We've hidden the idol in the middle of their camp. You couldn't find it, you could dig all day and never find it unless you have the clue. The clue is going to be visual this time instead of verbal, so you'll have pictures. I think it's going to be a fun theme to watch.
Now let's check out this season's castaways, starting with a man who's already a legend in his own right.
Well, I've won a couple of Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys, and now I'm a TV analyst for Fox NFL Sunday.
Jimmy Johnson has done everything in his career you can do. And to see this guy want to do Survivor, he doesn't need the money, he doesn't need the fame. He wants the adventure.
Most of the contestants are going to look at me and say, hey, celebrity, he's got all the money he needs, he doesn't need the money, get him out of here. Without question, I think I'm going to be a target as far as being eliminated early.
3 years ago, Jimmy was set to do the show, but Survivor doctors revealed he had blocked arteries.
1 week later, I had stents put in. I lost 30 pounds. I've got on a strict regimentation as far as my workouts. And now I jog, I run, I lift weights. I'm in the best shape I've been in many years. And so you might say Survivor actually helped me survive. No sleep, getting rained on, bugs biting you all night long. Those are things that you deal with, but not having the essentials. You know, beer and ice cream. I don't know if I can deal with that. I can't be the coach, and so I've got to kind of fight my natural instincts and just be one of the fellas.
But Jimmy Johnson is no ordinary guy. With a lifetime of accolades and magazine covers under his belt.
TV Guide magazine, you know, that's one of my thrills. Must have been after the Super Bowl, and they took the picture of me, and the next thing you know, here I get it in the mail. TV Guide, Jimmy Johnson.
At just 26 years old, medical student Kelly Bruno is already a survivor. Born with a birth defect, Kelly has worn a prosthetic leg since childhood.
It's hard to hide a prosthetic leg. I've certainly tried for the time I've spent with other competitors, and you know, when you sit by the pool in pants, it's, you know, most people notice, but I'm trying to keep it quiet until we get to our first challenge, and I'm hoping that by then, if I can just like do really well in that challenge, they'll just believe that I'm as physically capable as everyone else.
The reason I like Kelly in the game is she's very athletic, and she just doesn't take no for an answer. She's got a stubborn streak in her of, oh, I'll get it done.
The triathlete's inspiration comes in part from Survivor Vanuatu contestant Chad, a fellow amputee.
It's exciting to be able to say that, you know, to see him do it and know that obviously I can, but I hope I'm a little more prepared. I got a custom leg made that will hopefully be more multi-purpose for the challenges and for the environment that we're going to be facing.
Kelly's certainly prepared to fight.
I don't think you can get to Final Three or win the game without lying at some point, without being somewhat deceitful, without flirting, without using, you know, some maybe not so pure techniques. I mean, there's just no way.
I just don't want another female to win. 3 females in a row have won, so it's time for a man to step it up.
30-year-old business owner Shannon is coming to Nicaragua with a strict no flirting policy.
I'm a very blunt person. I won't hold anything back, so yeah, I will tell them, hey, look, you know, I'm married, I have kids, don't touch me. When we sleep, stay over there. If there's a gay guy in the group, I'll be sleeping with him, because if my wife catches, she'll either kill you or me.
Shannon left behind his wife and 3 kids in Louisiana to conquer Survivor.
I got my wife pregnant at 19. I convinced her that she was my girlfriend. I convinced her to marry me. So if I can convince my wife to stay with me for 11 years, I think it's pretty easy to convince these people out here to keep me on an island for 40 days. So it shouldn't be that hard.
I don't think he's long for the game. I don't. I don't think he's observant enough. I don't think Shannon is aware of how people perceive him.
How do I think the group is seeing me? I really don't care. It doesn't matter. I mean, once I open my mouth and I start, you know, manipulating them, it doesn't matter how they see me.
And then there's 56-year-old Jane, a dog trainer from small town North Carolina.
I'm an outdoorsy person. I didn't grow up playing with dolls. I grew up playing with boys.
Recently widowed after her husband passed away in April, Jane single-handedly runs the family farm.
I am the head of the household. Don passed away from complications of bladder cancer. And, you know, I'm not giving up my farm.
Jane is the kind of woman you want on Survivor. She's real. That's a real American woman who works hard every day, gets up early, and gets it done.
And she's planning on working just as hard here on Survivor.
I want to be the person that, you know, they'll say, well, Jane's not afraid to do this, Jane's not afraid to do that. And I'm not. The worst possible thing is to get on a team that's pure losers. You know, I mean, they give up, they don't try, and they're not strong. I mean, that would be my worst scenario, is to get on that. I'm hoping and praying I don't get put on that team.
Later, we've got your exclusive sneak peek at 2 of the challenges you'll see this season on Survivor Nicaragua. But up next, one contestant reveals the 2 things you absolutely must not do on Survivor.
My husband said don't or so you'll be the first one voted off.
That and much more is ahead when Survivor Nicaragua Preview returns on TV Guide Network. Welcome back to Survivor Nicaragua Preview. I'm Parvati Shallow, former winner and 3-time contestant. We're giving you an exclusive first look at all the new players. Next up, a mom who isn't afraid to speak her mind.
I am not your ordinary mom.
41-year-old Eve from Kansas City may be a stay-at-home mom, but out here, she's giving it all she's got.
It is a game. And when you play a game, you play to win it. I don't hold back or bite my tongue in real life. And I'm just Eve here to play Eve this way. Trusting myself, that's all I know. It's exactly how I'm gonna play it.
She'll tell you she's proud to be 41. I think there's a part of her looking at the 21-year-old going, I don't know, not all that. And I think I'm looking for a little competition with Eve and some of the younger women.
At the end, I want to be up against players I respect, and I want to be challenged next to them.
Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, 63-year-old Daniel is relying on his street smarts to make it to the final.
I really like Daniel, and one of the reasons I like him is he is what he appears to be.
Being in Brooklyn, New York, and getting out of Brooklyn, New York as I did, you had to do a lot of things. I would say I have a college education as far as street smarts. That's what I have.
He knows he looks like somebody from the mafia, and he wears that coming in.
Starting fires, the only way I know how to start a fire is with a match. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. So I'm sure one of these guys is going to know how to start a fire. Hopefully. And I hope the other guy can fish.
His big job is going to be changing impressions. And I think he must be used to that in life.
There's a lot more to me than just having the stereotype look, of which I enjoy having. It works well for me in New York City. How well it's going to work for me in Nicaragua, I couldn't tell you, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
But it's not all work and no play for Daniel. With a history of dating younger women, he's already got his eye on the ladies of Survivor.
There's at least 4 women that are pretty close to 10s. Kind of give them little smiles here and there, see if I get them back, which I've been getting back, so we'll see what happens.
48-year-old Wendy joins the older team too.
Wendy is one of a kind.
Now a nurse in Montana, Wendy has a long career in the Army behind her, an asset she's hoping will help her out in Nicaragua.
I saw Private Benjamin and I said, oh my God, I have to go in the Army and say, been there, done that. Just try it. I never expected to do a whole career.
You know, she's interesting because your first impression is she's a nutcase.
I think it's going to be a piece of cake compared to some of these people. My husband keeps saying, some have never been camping, Wendy. He goes, and I'm like, I can't believe that.
But when you talk to Wendy, she's actually got a lot going on. Wendy actually predicted just before the show started, when we went to say hi to everybody, she said, I think you're doing old versus young. She's really observant.
There's just one thing Wendy thinks might get her into trouble.
I like singing and I like tapping, but my husband said don't sing or dance or you'll be the first one voted off. So don't ask me to sing because they'll hear me because I have a very loud projected voice.
So Survivor, that's me. Dreads and all, I gotta represent for Russell since he was out with his dreadlocks.
Nayanka is going to have a big challenge, and I think the biggest reason out of the gate is she's the minority on her tribe.
She may be on the young tribe, but the 27-year-old South Central LA native knows a thing or two about athleticism and stealth.
I work at the YMCA. I am a personal trainer, PE teacher, and I also coach track and field for college. But I don't plan on telling nobody. I do art, I draw, I'm a janitor. Something far, far away from track and field.
And she believes working with kids will benefit her in the game.
They help me stay in shape, stay on my toes.
And Nayanka has a big personality. What I like about her is she's a go-getter.
In my neighborhood, I'm the first one to make it out, to go to college. I have 2 degrees.
I actually think Nayanka would be better off on the older tribe. I think they would appreciate her spirit and probably utilize her skills more. I think on the younger tribe, she may be a fish out of water. And she's gonna have to scramble to get in with somebody good.
I will be faker than faux fur. I will be friends with everyone. I will smile, and I will steal. I mean, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I probably could rock Survivor.
Straight from Venice Beach, California, 21-year-old Judson Burza is no stranger to the element.
I've always been comfortable with the nature. I appreciate it. I like being surrounded by it. So as far as being dropped off on a remote island that's like cool to me, you know, I'm stoked right now.
Before rolling onto the beaches of Survivor, the student model rocked out with his band back at home.
It's like Euro synth, kind of disco. We all wear spandex on stage. It's pretty rad. Play the drums. And I surf.
Judd cracks me up. I love Judd. He reminds me and probably everybody of Jeff Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but he knows it. And he's the first to tell you, dude, I want to be out on those waves so bad. And he brushes his hair back.
I think they're seeing me for what I am, pretty much like a goofy surfer, young, whatever, who's just kind of here to hang out, which I am, you know, and I don't mind them thinking that for a while.
I think young girls are going to like him.
Most definitely single.
I think guys are going to kind of identify with him.
A lot of big dudes here. I might get rocked in a few of these challenges.
And I think moms will be charmed by him.
I'm still in shock that I'm even here. It just blows my mind.
At 20 years old, Kelly Shin is the youngest player on the LaFleur tribe.
She's very charming and she certainly speaks a good game, but I don't know how well she's going to hold up on that tribe.
I'm sure they're viewing me as just this young girl, probably with no camping or wilderness skills. Like, what is she doing here?
However, this nursing school student is no stranger to paradise.
I'm actually a student at the University of Hawaii. My friends and I, we love to go on hikes and we go out and surf all the time. And it's things like that that I can build off of.
The hard part when you're young is you just don't have a lot of life experience.
I think being cheer captain, it shows just a sense of leadership, being able to get a team together. I think being homecoming queen, oh my gosh. I make friends so easily. I can apply those skills to something similar to this.
I think Kelly's success is going to come from the alliance that she finds herself in. And if she's in the right one, she could go a while and she might get some momentum and surprise some people.
I think just being who I am and just being nice to everybody, that'll be good.
Coming up, Jeff Probst reveals who he thinks will take home the $1 million prize. Plus, it's your exclusive tour of this season's Tribal Council. More secrets will be revealed right after the break. Welcome back to Survivor Nicaragua Preview. I'm three-time player Parvati Shallow. Every season, the incredible art department creates an amazing fantasy world for us survivors and the viewers. For season 21, the crew is drawing on the rich history of Nicaragua to take us back in time to the 15th century.
The design motif of the season with regards to idols, challenges, tribal council, we're tucking into the colonial side of Nicaraguan history.
We've gone with a conquistador theme in that we're in the New World basically, so 15th, 16th century Spanish explorers. The conquistador theme and say the pirate theme that we did in S7 in the Pearl Islands, as far as a period in time, they're very similar. Like the 15th, 16th century is when the pirates were in this region. It's also when the explorers had their permission to come here and claim the land. So style-wise is very similar in a lot of ways. The chests, the swords, the muskets, the ships they travelled in, it's all very similar era. In order to get the conquistador feeling and this old world Spanish feel across, we're doing a lot of wrought iron metalwork. You'll see swords, you'll see muskets, you'll see a lot of fringing on flags, a lot of fleur-de-lis and cross swords, and a lot of imagery that you wouldn't usually see on the very rustic and island style Survivor. In order to get this look on the show, we're steering away from a lot of the more organic materials, so we're going for milled lumber, we're going from steel, a lot of props from overseas, swords and muskets, and then making up a lot of things just based on photos such as the immunity idol. The flag colours and motifs are really just drawn from old world coats of arms.
And how do they get that old world feel with brand new props?
We can dunk it in the ocean or use patina on it to rust it up. Using a mix of sand and resin and paint, we can add rust effects, things like that.
You'll feel as though you're in the middle of somewhere that used to exist several hundred years ago.
After being on 3 seasons, I can tell you those details really enhance our experience in the game, especially during Tribal Council. Here's Jeff Probst to take you behind the scenes of this season's amazing set.
Welcome to the Tribal Council for Survivor Nicaragua, our 21st season. As you take a look around here, this is based on a 16th century church. And as you can tell, this church has been here a long time. It's been through a lot of storms. There's a lot of broken rock, walls that have come down. It took 30 guys 2 months to construct this. They put all the finishing touches, the vines that you see creeping through all of that ironwork. And the ironwork itself is also custom made to fit these archways. All of the fires, the flame bars, the torches, all of that's custom made. It's why this show continues to look so good, and why when survivors come to Tribal Council, they forget this is a set. They don't ever think it is. They think this has been here forever, and we fool them year after year. I know that when people are here, even though they're in a game for $1 million and they know they're at a Tribal Council, I'm pretty sure for most of them, because they're fans, there is a sense of, I can't believe I'm on Survivor. I say it year after year after year. If you go to a movie set, sets don't look like this. One wall looks like that, and the other wall has lunch orders on the other side of it. Go ahead, walk around here. Everything is finished. Every little detail is finished. This is perhaps my favorite spot at Tribal Council, because this is where it happens. This is where somebody's hopes and dreams and all of that can vanish like that. This is the voting confessional. What I love is that this seemingly innocent voting urn is actually pieced together from about 40 or 50 different little pieces of wood. It's the greatest thing about working out here is it's Arts and Crafts Day every day on Survivor. And now I just have something I've actually never done, and I don't want anybody to read anything into this. I love being on Survivor, and I hope I'm here for a long time. But I know there's a lot of people who would like to see this happen, so let me just make it easy for you. I'll vote myself out.
Straight ahead.
I suggest America get a notebook and a pen and watch how I play this game.
Meet the first contestant America voted on Survivor. Plus, Jeff Probst reveals his favorite castaway of the season. That and much more when Survivor Nicaragua Preview returns on TV Guide Network. Hey, welcome back to Survivor Nicaragua Preview. I'm Parvati Shallow. With the tribe split into 40 and older and 30 and younger, you might think the older group has the most accomplished players. But here's a member of the young tribe who at just 24 years old brings a lot of experience into the game.
I work in NASCAR, I work in pit crew. So cars, you know, my team is Hendrick Motorsports, so our drivers are Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, and Mark Martin. I'm also a singer-songwriter, so I travel around no matter what. I'm either going to a race or going to a place to play and sing.
This former college football player from North Carolina was inspired to take up songwriting after the death of his father.
Dealing with the loss, I guess songwriting was just my only way to get it out. I didn't talk to many people about it. The easiest way for me was to pick up my guitar and write a song about it. About a year and a half after I'd been writing songs, I was done with my first album, and it picked up quick and people were liking what I was doing, so I just kept on going with it.
Chase is my favorite going in. He said this is the first time I've really done anything solely for me with no distractions. And I like Chase to win. And I'd be happy if Chase won. And he could win.
I'm thinking I'll get some, you know, some nice island music out of this. We'll see, I don't know, but I definitely think I'll get something out of this. Hopefully a song about me winning $1 million.
23-year-old illustrator Alina might look innocent, but the California girl says she won't be the sweetheart of the season.
I think that I'm the kind of girl who just wants to prove that I can do something that people wouldn't expect me to do. And I'm kind of a badass, and I like to just kind of revel in that. I think people naturally trust me because of the way I look. I just look like, you know, the girl next door, and people like to talk to me, and I think they'll open up to me, and I think they'll give me information that later on I can use against them, and they won't expect that.
And although Alina has a boyfriend back home, she still plans on using flirtation to slay the competition.
Being in a relationship has no effect on my game here. Flirting will definitely come into play here. A showmance, I have always hated those anyway, so even if I was single, I wouldn't come out here and do that. It's a horrible strategy.
I think she's going to have to play up on the fact that guys are going to be attracted to her and use that to her advantage. And there ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm just a natural flirt, and I'm sure that it's going to come out, whether I want it to or not, and it's probably going to benefit me.
I have a great judge of character, and I can easily pick people apart.
Another natural flirt is Ben Henry, who goes by Benry.
I was a cameraman for Girls Gone Wild. I had a job to do, and my job was to get you know, certain footage, and at the end of the day I was going to do whatever it took to get that footage.
Benry is a snake in the grass, in a good way.
This is about me, it's a game, and it's about winning, and I'm not going to hesitate to, you know, use my manipulative skills.
He doesn't care if a girl's into him, he'll use her to get further. He's maybe a male equivalent of Parvati in that sense.
The Denver native is currently a nightlife promoter in Hollywood, but he knows how to survive in the wild.
I grew up camping, we had a cabin, camping, fishing, you know, I was tying fishing knots since I was, you know, young. It's definitely night and day from Hollywood, and the, you know, the best part so far has been turning off the BlackBerry and, you know, just escaping and getting out of that, you know, world I have back home.
I suggest America get a notebook and a pen and watch how I play this game, because I'm trying to write the text on how to win.
48-year-old Jimmy T scored his spot on Survivor thanks to an online vote.
Jimmy T was part of a Sears online contest where we had people send in videos, and we agreed to put the most popular one on the show.
My friends and family helped me really put my name out there, and the support I got was overwhelming, humbling even for a cocky guy like me.
This Gloucester, Massachusetts man comes into the game with a skill that should help his tribe immensely.
I'm a seafood inspector for the Department of Commerce, and I started out as a fisherman there and progressed into seafood quality. My father was from an Italian fishing family, my mother was from Nova Scotian fishing family, so it's kind of in the heritage. I'm definitely confident. I work too hard physically and mentally not to be confident, you know, and I just got to tone that down a little. I'm really good at puzzles. People back home can tell you, despite my West End dialect, I'm not near as stupid as I sound.
I don't know how long he's going to last, but I know everybody will know him 10 minutes into the show.
All my life, I've dedicated a lot of my time to my family and to other people. And one day, I just said to my husband, I want a personal challenge. I'm going to apply to be on Survivor.
As the wife of a South Dakota politician, Holly says she can connect with all different types of people.
I think they look at me as being someone that's very friendly. You know, I try to sit by everybody as much as I can and smile at everybody. My husband and I run a 6,000-acre ranch. We have Black Angus cattle. The longest I've ever been away from my husband has probably been 4 days. We're going to be married 25 years next month, so I will miss our 25th wedding anniversary.
Even though she'll miss her family, this swim coach and mother of 3 says she's ready for the game.
I want to be a leader, but I don't want to come across as being someone who's bossy.
I think Holly's big job right off the bat is to throw it around and let people know I'm for real.
And with a nasty beetle bite, Holly was the first contestant to get a battle wound.
Everybody's going to be like, whoa, but I'm good.
Just be the ultimate test and the ultimate experience, really.
Marty, a technology executive from Mill Valley, California, is already comparing Survivor to the corporate world.
I think that plays well in this game, but I think it's really important to know that this is unlike any corporate boardroom or any job, and having held leadership positions, having a tendency to gravitate towards that puts an immediate target on your back in this game. It traditionally always has. So tempering that, I think, is going to be important, especially in the beginning.
One of the things I like about Marty is I think he's going to make big plays.
And the athletic 48-year-old has been studying his competitors closely.
There's going to be a lot of people that on day 6, day 7 are going to start crumbling. I can tell right away.
I don't know if he can win. He'd really have to play a hell of a game to get to the end and have people like him.
Coming up, from a mud crawl to getting tanked, we've got your first look at 2 very different challenges you'll see this season. But first,
a lot of survivors said the woman with the short red hair I would love in my alliance.
But what secret is she hiding from her competition?
I don't see that they need to know that information.
We've got the answer. Plus, get up close and personal with the rest of the cast when we return.
There's more Survivor Nicaragua preview ahead on TV Guide Network.
Welcome back to Survivor Nicaragua Preview. I'm Fans vs. Favorites winner and Heroes vs. Villains runner-up, Parvati Shallow. Now it's time to get up close and personal with the last group of castaways, including this fire captain with a tough guy exterior who might surprise people once they get to know him.
Life is full of opportunities, you know, and tomorrow's not promised, so I need to maximize all the opportunities.
At 42 years old, Tyrone does it all.
Not only is he a captain in the fire department, he also teaches spinning, he works with kids. He's really this all-around confirmed bachelor who's fun to be around, and I think that he is in the game for a long time.
Tyrone may look tough, but his MO is to kill him with kindness.
When you first see Tyrone, the look on his face says, I want to hurt somebody. But when he opens his mouth and starts talking, it's, I want to love somebody.
Everything I've done in my life is dealing with people and trying to make people better, you know, and that's part of my leadership style. I think everyone here, I think everyone on the planet has some leadership ability. It's just a matter of whether people tap into it.
And he's not scared one bit of Survivor's new digs in Nicaragua.
What keeps me pumping is that I know that at least one other person survived in this environment before me. The natives of the land, and they figured something out, so I just got to figure their tricks out, and we're going to make it happen.
I'm hoping that my life experiences will stand me in good stead here.
Another accomplished member of the Espada tribe is ER doctor Jill.
ER doctors are the coolest doctors because we have the most exciting job, I think. I'm a little bit to the bossy side, and it's my job. I mean, because I have, you know, if somebody comes in, I have 3 people looking at me, what do we do, doc? So I'm just used to barking orders. I don't like to be a leader, but I just can't stand indecision, you know, so make a decision. Even if it's the wrong one, you know, make a decision.
This Pennsylvania mother of 2 plans to keep her job a secret.
In the past, it is not behooved prior contestants when they told them they're a doctor. Either initially, it gives you a reason to be voted off first. If they went to the final 2 or 3, it was a reason to not give you $1 million. People figure you're a doctor, you don't need it. In poker, you have bluffing. In football, you have the fake punt. And so in Survivor, you have lying and weaseling. So I guess everyone's got their own morality with that, and I'm just hoping that mine stays consistent.
And the feisty competitor poses a physical threat as well.
I was like fat after my second kid, so I started cycling, and that just kind of took off for me. And I won a national title a couple years ago with that, so I'm very, very competitive.
Jill is probably the sharpest person out there. A lot of survivors said, the woman with the short red hair I would love in my alliance. She seems like she's really got it together. So Jill could be one of those women that finally break through.
Survivor won't be the first taste of the spotlight for 27-year-old paddleboard company owner Brenda.
I was a cheerleader for the Miami Dolphins for 2 years, and it was an amazing experience. You became like a little tiny celebrity just like that.
As a seasoned traveler, Brenda's been to many areas of Latin America.
I was born in the Canary Islands, Spain, and my mom is from Bolivia, my dad is from Hong Kong. So that's where it all goes together. One of the reasons I want to be on Survivor because the challenges look pretty awesome. From the little puzzles to climbing and swimming and breaking these things, and that aspect of it, it really, you know, it looks like fun.
And this bubbly castaway might make a very strong alliance with a guy on her tribe.
The best relationships just kind of happen, and I'm always open for anything in life, and especially when you're single. I have big goals for myself, and I don't have a personal life right now because I work 9 to 5 and then I work on the weekends, but that's fine. And I think that type of determination to actually get somewhere will get me somewhere. And I hope to bring that into this game.
Brenda is a clever, athletic, attractive young woman who I imagine will stay in this game for a while.
I'm prepared to make some pretty big moves.
The final member of the younger tribe is 30-year-old luxury real estate broker Matthew, who goes by Sash.
It's been something that I wanted to do forever, and you know, to finally have a chance, it's surreal. It's not until that first challenge that I think it's really going to set in. I've always come on top, I've always won, I've always dominated the competition, and I'm looking at Survivor as just being one more notch in my belt.
One of the show's biggest villains made this New Yorker want to apply for Survivor.
It really wasn't until season 19 that they started to put in actual players. Russell came on, I was inspired by his gameplay, and I realized that finally there was someone out there that would be a worthy opponent, so that's why I decided to come on in.
Though he grew up in Wisconsin, Sash says he feels a connection to his current home in Harlem.
My father being from Jamaica, being black, I just really felt connected to those roots, and that's kind of what drew me there from you know, a smaller city in the Midwest, and knowing that I have 1 million strong behind me in Harlem is really going to get me through some of those tough times and heavy rainstorms.
He's really proud of his culture, and he's really proud of where he comes from, and he wants to identify with that.
Confidence is something this player has in abundance.
far as all-around pure player, I'd say I'm definitely the only one.
Sash is either going to charm people with his idiosyncrasies or annoy them.
I don't think people really realize the threat I am until I've decided to vote them out.
Coming up.
How do we design challenges that are fun to watch and are fair for somebody who's in their 60s to compete against somebody who's in their 20s?
Find out when Survivor Nicaragua Preview returns on TV Guide Network. Welcome back to Survivor Nicaragua Preview. I'm Parvati Shallow. Over the course of 3 seasons, I've had my share of countless physical challenges. And believe it or not, they are even tougher than they look on TV. But this time around, with the tribe split by ages, you can expect some very different types of challenges than we've seen in the past.
Don't expect to see a lot of brawling, because that's not what this season is about.
The challenge department had some challenges of their own in working with the twist, old versus young.
The challenges will not be as physical this year. Once we decided the theme was old versus young, our challenge department had a job to do, and that was how do we design challenges that are fun to watch and are fair for somebody who's in their 60s to compete against somebody who's in their 20s.
What we have to do is make challenges that aren't going to advantage either side.
And the idea is that hopefully the young tribe will make some bad decisions, and the wisdom of the older tribe will bail them out of situations that maybe they can't handle physically.
It's going to be fun to see how these people use their brains and use their bodies.
And even though the oceanfront provides a gorgeous backdrop, there will be a lot less water challenges this season.
It's great for surfing, but not great for putting cameras and contestants into. But we do have a pool, we have other bodies of water that we will be using.
With the first immunity challenge, getting tanked, the contestants will get in on some of that water action instantly.
Survivor's ready. Go! We have water tanks at the top, transferring water from 6 different gutter systems into a barrel that, once it is full, would trick a mechanism dropping puzzle pieces, and once the puzzle pieces drop, the 4 remaining tribe members could solve the puzzle. And in this challenge, one tribe will have the Medallion of Power, which will give them a 1 bucket advantage, which would be significant to get a head start on this challenge.
And here's the lowdown on some more challenges you won't want to miss this season.
We have a challenge coming up called Spit It Out, which is probably the most inventive and the most fun challenge for the audience, at least, that we've ever seen. If you love roller coasters, you're gonna love Spit It Out. I'm really excited about the Haymate challenge. Basically, it is a tar and feathered inspired challenge where we get people to dive through the mud, crawl through the hay to look for puzzle pieces, and then pass off and do a puzzle. So basically, we have a philosophy in Survivor, which is muddy is fun.
Well, that'll do it for Survivor Nicaragua Preview. For more on the castaways and the twist of this season, be sure to log on to tvguide.com. And tune into CBS on the new night, Wednesday at 8 p.m. to see who will become the newest Survivor champion. I'm Parvati Shallow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.